Hey everybody, welcome back to Age of Empires Online. I'm Psychosaurus and today I'm gonna talk about a critical hit chance. Now this is a topic I've been a little bit busy with for like last 2 weeks, and it actually surprised me because I always thought something about crit chance, I'll mention it later, and then I found out that there might be something different, and then I took a look at it. So this video is gonna be all about what I could find in the game about crit chance. So let's get started with it, shall we? Oh, and before I start, this might not be completely 100% true, so if you feel like I'm saying something wrong, make sure to leave a comment telling what you think I'm saying wrong, and we can discuss about this in the comment section. Also, make sure to subscribe to the channel if you want to see more Age of Empires Online content like this. So, what is a critical hit chance? Well, critical hit chance is a stat for your units which gives them a chance to deal bonus damage on every attack. This stat, unfortunately, you cannot see in your unit stats table, but it's not difficult to actually tell how high your critical hit chance actually is for each unit. All you have to do is take a look and find the sum of the chances. So, how do you give your units a critical hit chance? Well, the most common way to give them a critical hit chance is through gear. Most typically weapons, arrows, and there are a couple of more gear types you can use to raise a critical hit chance. Another option is through a Celtic milestone at, I believe, level 10, which gives your infantry, cavalry, and ranged units 2% critical hit chance. And then there are actually also two advisors, but they are only Civ specific. One of them is a legendary advisor for Kells, Brand the Bloodletter, and the other one is Solon for the Greeks, who gives your Hippicons 5% chance. So, if the critical hit chance gives our units a chance to deal bonus damage, how much damage are we actually talking about? Well, until recently, I actually thought the critical damage is 300%. That means the total damage. When a unit procs critical hit would do actually 300% damage in total. And that's what I believe. Unfortunately, I've seen posts on the Project Celeste forums that the crit chance has been actually reduced, and I was like, really? Well, here's a little video where I tried out how high actually the crit damage is. Okay, there it is. So, as you could see, the spearman was taking between 41 and 42 damage, and sometimes it would take between 82 and 83 damage. Well, the tower, I checked it, has 41.3 damage per second, and the tower is actually attacking once per second, so that means the spearman was taking 41.3 damage per normal attack, and the 82-83 damage he took was actually the critical hit from the tower. From that we can tell that the critical damage is somewhere around 200%. So the critical hits actually do 100% bonus damage. Now that we know the total bonus damage from the critical hits, we can actually calculate the average damage increase. What I mean by average is you cannot tell what's the damage increase gonna be because, well, it's all about RNG. So yeah, you're kind of relying on RNG, so you cannot tell for sure you're gonna have this damage increase all of a sudden. So let's imagine you have 100 units with 10% crit chance to actually do the bonus 100% damage. If we all let them attack at the same time, then there will be certain number of critical hits. We cannot tell for sure how many, but there's gonna be some, or maybe even none. Okay, So let's say we let them attack like this forever. Then the average number of critical hits per set of attacks would tend to the critical chance we actually have. That means 10%. So on average, we actually get 10 critical hits per set. Now each of these attacks actually does bonus 100% damage. So in total we get 1000% damage of those units. However, there's 100 of those units and they all do 100% damage. So that means we have 10,000% of the damage, and then we add another 1000% of the damage from the critical hits. That means the average damage increase is gonna be 10%, which is pretty much equal to the critical hit chance. So you can imagine that the damage increase is actually gonna be equal to the critical chance you actually have on those units. Now, before I move on to the next part of the video, let me tell you about a website, unitstats.projectceleste.com. This website is actually very useful. You can actually try out to build your own gear on a certain unit and then see its stats like the cost, the armor, the health, damage. All you can see. You can actually also see critical chance. Now, according to this website, the critical chance is actually being additive. What does that mean is when I have 10% chance and then another 10% chance, then I have a total of 20% chance, which is pretty unique for Age of Empires Online, since how the stats usually stack. I recommend you to check that out and try out some builds. You might find it very interesting. So, with the critical hit, sometimes come even special effects. The most common one is this short flash of light coming out of nowhere. That indicates that this unit actually just procced a critical hit. This is the most common one. You will definitely notice this one most often. It's very noticeable. But with the crit, there actually are also another effects that I've been able to find out. For instance, when a Royal Guard actually procs a critical hit, a different sound effect is actually being played on its attack. Here's a short example of this phenomenon. So I hope you were able to actually hear the sound effect for the Royal Guard. There are definitely noticeable two different sounds, except the Royal Guard doing their typical and then the Ogre's wololo. A similar effect can actually be reached for the Berserkers for the North Sith. You can try it out for yourself. This, however, is not the only thing I was able to find. I was actually able to find two interesting effects for the critical proc on two Greek units. One of those is Peltast. At first I thought they had like this weird attack where they would like attack once immediately, and then immediately after that they would launch their normal attack. But then I was taking a look again and I'm not so sure if that's true, but I believe the Archimedes hero actually does that. Unfortunately, I don't have a record for that, but here's the record for the Peltas. Instead, however, I've noticed that the Peltas actually launch their javelins at the beginning of their animation instead. I think to see the fast attack with the Peltas, you actually should slow the speed of playing the video. So if you want, you can replay that part and try at lower speed, and you might actually see it. but don't worry, there's gonna be one more example with that as well. But let's talk about the other unit, that is the Greek Psychosaurus. Now for that one, I've actually noticed a positive effect than the Peltas one. Instead of actually immediately launching the javelin, they actually launch the javelin after the attack animation. It's actually being delayed, which is pretty much negative for them, but hey, it's still gonna do a lot of damage. So here's the example. You can slow this one as well for the Peltas, but notice the Psychosaurus critical hit as it's being delayed. And that's all I know about the critical hits in Age of Empires Online. Hope you enjoyed this. If you think I said something wrong, like I said, just leave a comment telling me what you think I said wrong. We can discuss it. If you want me to do something similar like this, also ask in the comment section. Make sure to subscribe to the channel for more Age of Empires Online content like this and gameplays like you could see in this video. Ring the bell to get notified when I upload a new video. Oh, and don't forget to press the like button if you enjoyed this. This was Psychosaurus, and I'll see you next time. Bye! Now where's the frog?